What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bad C, aka Nicholas Cage, aka Larry J. Blige, aka your mother's baby father. And yo, we back with another episode of your favorite song where I sit down with the best of the best, the creme de la creme, and we pick their brain and we ask them, hey, what's your favorite song, man? And today on my show, my special guest is by far, man, like legend and OG come on, man, like that those are small words for this man. Like I got so much adoration for him. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna just let him speak for himself. Bumpy Knuckles is in the building, ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen.
Thank you,
Yeah,
bro. I appreciate that. What's up, man?
no doubt. What's good, bro?
Chilling, bro. Staying in the lab working. I'm in the I'm in the metaverse right now.
I see. I see. Word
Yeah.
up. Yo, and it was an honor I got to rock on one of your productions early this year too on the
Yeah.
joint with you and NUT, man. That
Nah,
joint was fire.
you fucked that up though. You killed that. I love
Appreciate
your
that.
voice. Your voice is dollar, man. I'm telling you, man. You gotta. That's
Appreciate
one of
that.
the things people forget about how MC's voice, how important that is. You got a unique,
Yeah.
distinctive sound, and I really like your sound, man. I was
Yeah, I
impressed.
appreciate that, man. Word
Uh,
up. That means a lot coming from you, man.
Thank you.
Um so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna tell you what my favorite joint of yours is. Now, this was tough, man, because I've been following you since I want to say 88, 89. Freddie Fox is here. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I
Mhm.
remember. I remember. I went to the store and bought it, bro. I bought it. You know what I'm saying? With my own money, and I loved it. I loved it. And I've been following you since then. It's a long, extensive catalog. It's really hard. I mean, there's OGology, there's just solo shit, there's just so much shit. But
Mhm.
I had to narrow it down to two records.
Mhm.
Now, and that was tough because I don't usually do that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
the first record, and then we can get into if you can remember anything about anything specific about these records. But the first record, without saying, is the first Militia.
Mhm.
I'm a nostalgia dude, so it's a lot of it has to do with what was going on around me, who I was cool with, what I was into, what the time of day it was. You know what I'm saying? So that Militia, the Gangstar joint, that's golden. You know what I'm saying? Just because it, like you said, the voice, like it's nobody sound like you, bro. Nobody.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Now, the number one record for me is Somebody Else Bumped Your Girl. And it did fucked
Wow.
up. Yo, and listen, I'm gonna tell you
Oh shit.
why. Like I said, I'm a nostalgic dude, right? So the reason why I really love that record bump is because somebody else bumped my girl when that came out, man. And it really messed up my world, bro. like
Wow.
what you say? What you say?
I'm
You
not
said
laughing at
Santa.
that, but that's fucking hilarious.
What you said? Santa had to say it, but it had to be said. Wait, everybody Santa had to say it, but it had to be true. Everybody know your girl better than you. Yo, I was like, oh man, damn, big bro.
Yeah.
Never
It
forget
just
it.
was a touchy reality, you know what I mean, for a lot of cats, you know what I mean. And this at the time, what the era that I studied, those guys had song concepts. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So it's different. It's one thing to go in the studio and just say a whole bunch of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And if the beat is good enough for people to pay attention, people will think it's hot. So
right.
you got a lot of guys who go in the studio because they have access to a microphone and they say rhymes that have no. If you say it one time, then you say it another time, and you keep saying the same thing. That the concepts you have no concept ability to write a concept record. I listened to dudes that wrote songs about about concepts. So that's what I
Mm,
learned from. That's what I know. That's what originally what I thought songwriting was about. You come up with a concept and you figure out a way to, in an artistic way, kind of write about real life situations or what somebody else familiar situations, whatever. So I know that right there is a painful thing. Because when I was younger, it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? A couple times actually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I figure and anybody who say that never happened to them, they either don't know or don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel no kind of way, because that song was spit from experience. You know what I'm saying?
But you know the crazy part, big bro? The crazy part about it though is the way you was spitting it. You wasn't spitting it you been through it. You was spitting it like, somebody else bumped your girl. Like that's how you was spitting.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
because
if you spit a song like that, like you've been through it, you'll be crying through the whole fucking song.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Oh, hurt ass nigga, you be crying through the whole song. But I wanted to spit it in a way that kind of wakes the man up to the fact that it can, so we always hear songs about men cheating on women, but if you flip it around, it's two to the tango. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to, it was just about the ability to make that shit feel and connect with the people that been through it. That's all. That's all.
Who produced that? Who did the beat for that? Oh yeah,
I did that. Yeah.
So you produced the whole? Did you produce the whole first album? Or?
Yes.
Wow. So you've been at that for a long time, bro.
And what's so funny is I had the music inside of my head, but I didn't know how to physically do it. So that was a learning period for me. I didn't even have equipment. I used to just go to the studio, and Patrick Adams was the engineer that was helping me learn how to program.
Right.
He was teaching me how to program everything. So as I was learning, I was making the songs as I was learning. I was like, oh shoot, let's keep that. That came out good. Don't touch nothing, don't erase nothing. I was one of them guys trying to figure it all out. All the way, my whole career is that way. Just the experience of learning and how at the time, you know what I'm saying? Some guys walking in like they got it all figured out. I didn't have it all figured out. You know what I mean? I didn't know. It was a lot to trying to figure out what you want to say, how you want to say it, how you going to get all this shit down, record it, and then have the money to pay for the time to do it. You know, we didn't have home studios back then. You had to have a budget, pay for your shit. So it wasn't so easy to get in the studio back in the days. You had to really work at.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a super fact. Do you remember the first piece of equipment that you got that you was doing beats on?
Yeah. It was an MPC 62, I think. MPC 62. I borrowed it from I think it was either the 3000 or 62. I borrowed it from Herbie Lovebug's brother, Steve. He lent that shit to me because I needed to know how to make beats, because I really wasn't connected with a lot of producers at the time. So it was weird for me to ask somebody for a beat. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, every track that I ever been on in my whole career, outside of my own production, I was asked to be on. I never said to nobody, yo, let me get on that album with you. Like, I never did that shit ever in my life. So people would ask me to rhyme on their shit, but I wasn't used to asking people for beats. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that worked with me wanted to work with me. That was a good thing. But I needed to learn how to make my own beats, because some of those tracks that other producers, even though they fire beats, it may not have been my place of expression at the time. I wasn't in that space. So I had to kind of fix my head to get into that, let their music kind of lead me. But I wanted to be able to create a canvas for my own lyrics that I paint on my own canvas. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me start. That's what made me start learning how to produce.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because I went through the same thing, man. I stopped making beats after a while. The beats I was making was pretty good, but the reason why I started doing it was I started noticing the people around me, they might have got too busy, or they was doing this, that, and third. And it was like, yo, man, but I got rhymes. Like, I want to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was working. I believe you know what did it? Jean Grey. She was a producer at the time. She was in the camp. Her name was Run Shaw as a producer. She was actually what as a rapper, but she was doing beats for us. And then, we was kind of dealing with each other a little bit. So when she got mad at me, she wouldn't do beats for me. So that made me. I was like, man, fuck it. Like I learned on the EPS 16 and the ASR 10, and learned how to work it out. You know what I mean? Bang, bang, bang. All right, cool. Yeah, that's dope. I didn't know that your production history was so extensive. I didn't really know that. I didn't know.
Oh
Learn
yeah.
something new
Oh
every
yeah.
day.
You be surprised, bro. It's some of the shit
Yeah,
that I have my hands in when it comes to music and getting people situated. Like even in the process of me learning music, I was learning shit that I was turning right around and teaching it to other cats. So I like to see people that are self-sufficient in a way that when
yeah,
it comes to music, because then you'll get a whole bunch of guys who think they know you telling you what you should be rhyming on or how you should be doing it. And
yeah,
just because
yeah.
somebody else make beats one way, I always try to do something that don't sound like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It may, music is always going to have a similarity in some shape, form, or fashion, especially hip hop, because hip hop has its own sound.
Facts.
I look at it in layers. There's a bottom, a middle, and a top in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Everything in between that is basically just the feeling. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
got the hip hop has a bottom, a heavy bottom, a real familiar middle section, like usually something that grabs you that you could write a flow to, and then there's a top to it that kind of just seals the deal. You know what I mean? The scratches and all of those type of
Right.
things. It's never overly produced, but it's hip hop, so we have our own sound. That is important because a lot of these dudes, they listen to their favorite producer and then automatically go into repeat that mode, do that right there, and that doesn't make you official. That what makes you official is having your own identity and your own. That's when you're really successful to me. I don't care about the other shit. It's that people can identify you specifically as the person who does that right there. You know,
I think that's what set like producers like RZA apart and certain producers. But see, then the problem with that was when he started bringing people up underneath him. It's like you said, their sound kind of emulated his to the point where there were certain records I didn't know. I thought off top he produced that shit because it sounded like a RZA beat. But then it'd be like, nah, it was Fourth Disciple, or you know what I'm saying? You like, damn, like he did that. Word. So I get what you're saying, 100%.
That's a to me that's a sign of, in some degree, it's a sign of fear. Because it takes a lot of chest, man, to be able to stand out there and be judged on something that don't sound anything like anybody else. It's almost like you can't really judge it. How you gonna judge something that I do as art when it's my art? If you don't connect with it and you don't like it, that's one thing. But judging it and telling me it ain't hot or this ain't dope or that's dope, either way it go, that's why you, as an artist, you can't attach yourself to the work. You got to do the work and throw it out there and let it do what it do. That ain't got whatever y'all feel about it ain't got nothing to do with me. Because whether you like it or not, I'm not going to change what I'm doing based on how you feel about it. Because there's other people that don't feel the same way. So somebody going to get cheated if I change. So I got to do me. And then the people that fuck with it, they come fuck with it. Everybody else, hey, maybe you like the next one. That's how you got to do that,
Facts. All right. So we come to the part everybody been waiting for. Out of your whole extensive catalog from the beginning up until the present, it could be a song that's on the hard drive. Like we say, it could be a song you produced. It could be a feature. It could be a solo song. It could be a couple songs. You're a gentleman. So, you know what I'm saying? You let us know what you want to do here. But what are some songs that are special to you, your favorite songs?
Well, one that comes to mind first, and it's a couple, but it's my two favorites that come to mind first. One is Bumpy Knuckles Baby, but Pete Rock. Because a lot of people don't know Big Daddy Kane is on the hook. And he was in the studio with me that day, so he jumped in.
I'm trying to.
Who got the hardest MC style ever created? Bumpy Knuckles, baby. Bumpy Knuckles, baby. You know what I'm saying? Who got
that's Kane?
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane is in the background with me, Kane, and I think Pete. Me, Kane, and Pete Rock got in the hook in the chorus and did the chorus in the booth together. So that was like a unknown little gem that people don't really know. You know what I'm saying? And the song itself, it's like everything Pete plays me, man. It just always gives me such a I almost feel like I'm signed to Stax Records or something when I fuck with Pete, because Pete shit is just so soulful. Like it's like it gives you that feeling like you back in the days and you fucking around with old horn players and old instrumentalists, and there's so much funk and soul in his music that it just makes me write a certain way. Like how I write to Pete is different from how I write to Premier. You know what I mean? It's all, if you listen to all them songs, none of that shit sounds the same. And it's a difficult place to reach, but once you get there as an artist where you can paint a different picture each time, and that's a beautiful thing, man. But that record alone, Bumpy Knuckles Baby, is one of my favorite songs to perform, and it's also was one of my favorite songs to record because we did it in Green Street. Big Daddy Kane me and Kane was hanging out that day. Kane hung out with me and got it. You know, I was happy to see. You know, he didn't have no problem doing that. She's like, hell yeah, let's do the hook. And he jumped in the background and then we did the hook. And another song that's one of my favorites is Part of My Life by DJ Premier. You know what I'm saying? Rhyming is a part of my life. I'm a die with rhyming kids and a rhyming wife. I don't let nobody judge me that don't know how to do what I do. So if you don't like it, then fuck you. So that line was about, you know, that line was eliminating that whole, everybody's so critical of other rappers and their talent and their abilities. But their shit be mediocre, but they gonna try to make you and force you into saying, you know, I co-sign, but you can't co-sign a motherfucker that you don't do what they do. I don't let nobody judge me that don't know how to do what I do. So imagine that they're gonna just come up to you saying, yo, I'm co-signing this right here. Okay, let's look at the co-sign situation. If you in a bank and you need somebody to co-sign on a loan for you, the one thing they gotta have better than you is what? Credit.
That's right.
Do I need to go on?
That's right. Yeah.
You don't spit. I don't need your co-sign, nigga. You don't spit. If you like the record, just see, co-signing shit is people telling you they co-sign you. That's not about a co-sign. That's about a power struggle between them trying to make you feel like they're more important than what you're doing. Right.
Like they put you on.
Yeah, they don't want to just give you a compliment and say, yo, let's just leave it at the compliment. It's about a motherfucker telling you, I co-sign you. You a nigga that can't dress, but you gonna co-sign somebody with $2,000 sneakers on. You're a bum ass nigga co-signing somebody with $2,500 sneakers on their feet. You know what I'm saying? Facts. That's how I feel about that. So that's what Part of My Life was about. You know, rhyming is a part of my life. I'm a die with rhyming kids and a rhyming wife. You know, my kids rhyme. You know what I mean? Wifey used to have bars back in the day, so she know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me painting a picture of how I want to do my music in my life and how I feel. But that song, that beat, when I first heard that track, I forgot who Premier gave it to before me, but he said either they didn't want to use the track or they didn't like the track for them, or he said he didn't like how they sounded, and I forget which one it was. Don't quote me, but he could probably fill you in better. But when he played it for me, I was like, yeah, give me that. I'll write to it. Took it home. I wrote it, came back, you know, and laid it. And I don't think I laid it. I think I laid it the second time he gave it to me. He gave me a bunch of them at one time. He gave me RNS, Part of My Life, and one other joint. I forget what the other one was. But I wrote them, came back, spit them, and, you know. Yeah. It's done. But those are the two. Those are my two real, like, there's a bunch of others, but when I perform those two records, I'm most comfortable for some reason.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy the subject matter and the content of the Part of My Life joint, because it just rings so true. The problem is a lot of people aren't fans anymore, man. Everybody's an expert or they cousin rap, so they feel like they know, or they brother rap, so if their brother might be fire, but they feel like because they brother's fire that they have educated opinions on shit. Like they pen is moving. Like your pen ain't even moving. You don't even have a pen. You know what I'm saying? And that's a huge problem. That's another reason why we made this show. Because I wanted to make it to where being a fan is cool, man. Like, yo, brother, I'm a huge fan of yours. Like, I ain't afraid to say it. Y'all stand on top of the building and say it. That don't take nothing away from me being nice with my pen. Because my pen was influenced by the people that I am a fan of. You
Indeed.
know what I'm saying? So
Indeed.
I don't understand all of this BS that's going on with that whole ideology that, yo, if you tell somebody you a fan, you want a dick, you a dick rider, clout chaser, this, that, and third. Oh, I'm such an expert. I don't rap, but I could tell you that I feel like you should have a little more syllables in your bars because Benny the Butcher does. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes is crazy, bro.
Yeah. That's funny.
These dudes is nuts. Like, that's
Yeah.
like me going to Stevie Wonder, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Steve, B, I feel like when you get to like the high parts, I think that at this point, bro, you should open your eyes. I think you should just go,
Yeah.
and just fuck everybody up,
Yeah,
Steve.
that's funny.
Steve gonna be like, nigga, for fucking 50 years, I've been having my shit closed when I sing. I'm not opening my eyes for y'all niggas, man. Yo, it's crazy.
The dumbest suggestions come across from motherfuckers that don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So people always try to tell you how to do what you do. And honestly, if you sharp enough, that could sharpen your blade. You know what I mean? Not in a way that you listening to them, but the fact that you know you're doing something that somebody wants to speak on in that way, it just the information is out there. It's gonna be there, but you still at the end of the day, it's you as an artist. That's what it is. You can't tell a Van Gogh how to do a Van Gogh. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell a Willem Cooney how to do a Willem Cooney. You know what I'm saying? You have to know as an artist what you're painting, the picture you're painting, how you're painting it, and the technique. The one thing that is never going to change is the music. How you make it, where you sell it, all that shit may change. But as an artist, who you are is who you are. And when you put that shit out, you're going to hear people say all kinds of shit. Oh, that's whack. I don't like this. That's my favorite song. He's the greatest ever. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that shit means absolutely nothing, especially if you're not fulfilling the message that you're trying to put out there. And you don't have to say it too many times. I notice a lot of cats get stuck on one subject matter. And they just tell you the same thing 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways, but it's still the same shit. And they look at that as, oh, I'm next, or I'm the greatest, or I'm the best. They'll put niggas ain't got no problem putting a crown on their head. These motherfuckers put a crown on their head so fast and then they're telling you I'm the best.
Yeah.
I don't try to be the best. I try to do my best. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, I don't care to be the best. I just try to give you the best of who I am as an artist. And that's where it ends with me. Like, we could all say we the best at whatever, but who you really competing with when people probably don't even know the best MC out yet. They just know the motherfuckers that they've heard. But there's cats out here that don't even spit publicly that will put some of these niggas that got billions of dollars to shame. Bro.
Yeah, put them down. Word up. So, you know what? Before we get up out of here, I want to ask you, that's a perfect segue. What's like some advice? You are OG in this. What is some advice that you could give to some artists like myself that are on that on the come up? You know what I mean? And like I don't really want to say on the come up because we've been around, you know what I mean? But it's like, what kind of advice would you have for us with the business, especially at the state that we're in right now?
Well, the first thing is you got to find your identity. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? You got to, if you look at all the greatest artists in the world, right? There's something about them that's nothing like them. Like they right. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the great, and I'm not just talking about rappers, I'm just talking about in general. The greatest artists in the world, the most incredible, talented people had a uniqueness about them that stood out and that they owned it. You know what I'm saying? As MCs in hip hop, I think a lot of times we get caught up in what the streets is telling you should be, how you should do, how you should talk, how you should walk, shit you should wear. Back in the days, you could look up on stage and see something on stage that ain't in the crowd. That individuality is powerful, man. When you're the only one or you may not be the only one that has it, because there's gonna be people that mimic you, but you're the one who delivered it. You know what I mean? And no matter how many times people copy you, those same people love you enough to pay homage to your image because that's where they got it from. But if everybody's running around here like, yo, That's the new hat that's out, the big hat with the red in it.
Yeah, right underneath. Yeah.
Everybody wearing them. So now, and then that becomes that then you falling into a trendy type of thing. But if you creating your trends, and even with your music, like we don't always have to rhyme on the same type of beat. Like, don't be afraid to experiment and go there. You got to bring hip hop to where you go. Don't follow hip hop around. Drag it with you. That's the advice I tell cats. You drag. If somebody tell you to rock on a pop song, send me that. Watch me turn. Listen, you know a great example of that is when Melly Mel did the Shaka Khan record. Khan, that's the most popular part of the song. The song is an amazing song. She sang her ass off, and the song is incredible. But everybody knows that part.
Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
You
know what I'm saying? That he took hip hop and embedded it into that record, the way he do it. And even with the message, if you listen to the message, and I always go back to my earlier influences, because a lot of times I think rappers try to forget their old influences and pick up these new situations like habits and influences. But what you should do with your influences is you should stack them, because it's like having a library. And you feel like, yo, you know what? This beat make me feel like a 80s kind of vibe. Let me go back and draw from some 80s shit that I used to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or this joint make me feel like some late 90s vibe, 2000. Let me go draw from that. You got to stack your influences so that you can use those influences as something that you can relate to when you're trying to come across and give off something that you learn from. You know what I'm saying? And when you do that as an MC, when you walk in the room, everybody gonna say, yo, I can't wait till his part come on. Because I know he's going, but they never know what you're gonna come with. You know what I'm saying? If you want somebody to keep doing their same redundant old shit all the time, then build a robot. Because that ain't for me. Like, if you know what I'm saying? People call me when they want energy, they call me when they want something that they know is gonna be solid and hard delivery, or but you keep calling me for the same thing. One time you get tired of doing that shit when there's so much more to you than that. Because remember this, when it's over for you, baby boy, somebody gonna tell your story the wrong way. So make sure you put every brick you put in the wall, you sign that motherfucker. This is boom, bad seed. I did that. So when you dead and gone, your kids will be saying, oh, that was Pawpaw right there. Pawpaw did this back in the day. You heard?
Facts.
That's individuality is very, very, very important, man. Very important.
100%. Look, big bro, I really appreciate you taking the time out, stopping and kicking with us, and come on your favorite song. I look forward to everything you got going on, bro. Much success. Like I said, I'm a fan.
Thank you, bro.
I'm looking forward to. I know y'all working on the volume 2, so everybody be on the lookout for that. The DJ NUT, that's my brother. Shout to him. I'm on that too, so on the volume 1. So y'all make sure y'all check that joint out too. The shit is hard. I remember I got hyped when I heard Ice-T was feeling that shit. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Ice-T was feeling that shit?
He brought your name up to me specifically on the phone, because he said, yo, Bump, that's just when I called him back, he hit me, I called him back. He said, yo, I'm feeling the bad seed, dog. That shit is hard. He gave it up for you, fam. That's right. That's real shit.
Shout to OG Ice-T, man. Big fan of him too, as well. Yo, the first rap album I ever bought in life was Power.
Oh, wow.
Ice-T, Power. But I mean, it was because of Darlene on it. But I still bought it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's funny.
But big bro, man, appreciate you. Much love, man. Much love and success.
I'm always here. I'm always here for you, fam.
No doubt. I appreciate it, family. Same here. Word up.
All right, salute.